Hey there once again, everyone. It's Eric here with Weather for Weather Geeks, the Tuesday evening edition. It is the 15th day of May. We're halfway through the month, approximately. Of course, there's 31 days in May, but for all intents and purposes, halfway through the month of May. And what a month it's been so far. Only 2 cooler than average days out of 15. And we are at a pretty sizable number above the average through the 15th day of the month, 7.2 degrees above the average. Now, this is the good news. The bad news for some people is we've had a fair amount of rain, a little over 2 inches worth of rain so far at the Youngstown Warren Airport this month. And, I've gotten a few comments, hey, yeah, it's been warm, but I'm tired of the rain. Well, it's that time of the year. May tends to be one of our wetter months, so we haven't had any unusual amount of rain or anything, but certainly enough rain combined with the warm temperatures that everything has popped. And it is lush, and you got to mow your grass every few days, and that's just the way it is sometimes at this time of the year. We had some pretty big, beefy thunderstorms earlier on today that rolled through parts of our viewing area, prompted some severe thunderstorm warnings. This was mostly late this morning. We had a storm that produced some pretty sizable hail that scooted across Columbiana County, then went over into western parts of Pennsylvania. This storm got pretty tall in the sky, and when I show you, let me back this up to right here, show you the kind of slice view of the storm, taking a look at not only what's going on at the ground but upstairs. Here's our hail shaft right here. Here's some hail suspended in the clouds, hail making it to the ground in some of these purple and white colors. So that's a pretty classic looking hail look from a 3D view of a storm. And yeah, indeed, some reports into the National Weather Service here of up to 1-inch diameter hail from Lisbon over to Hanoverton, and then once you got over into the Elwood City area and down into Beaver County, yeah, 1-inch hail, pretty common over there. And look at the enormous amount of severe weather reports today in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region and into Pennsylvania as well. This has been a huge severe weather day. A pretty rare moderate risk of severe weather was issued by the Storm Prediction Center this morning for a lot of northeast PA, northern Jersey, the Hudson Valley, heading over towards the Connecticut River Valley. You don't see a lot of those kind of risks up in New England, which is not exactly known for as a severe weather hotbed. But yeah, tons and tons of severe weather today. And this line moved across New York City, moved across Philadelphia, and now is taking aim on D.C., where they had a big storm last evening. So that's a pretty impressive looking band of showers and storms. All right, you're going to notice a subtle little air mass change as we go into the night tonight. Dew points have dropped here in the 7 o'clock hour down to 61 at the airport. Notice some 50s dew points north of Interstate 90, and that air is going to filter south, and it's going to be a great night tonight. Warmer than average, yes, but cooler than last night, and very comfortable overall with low temperatures getting into the mid-50s. All right, tomorrow with a mostly dry day in the forecast, and we're getting pretty deep into May here. It's another day where the pollen count's going to be pretty high, especially tree pollen. But even now as we get into the last half of May, our grass pollen numbers are getting pretty high, and that's, pretty typical for this time of the year. Otherwise, our big picture for your Wednesday now, tomorrow is going to be a cooler day as a result of a lot of clouds around. Still above average by 2 degrees, but we made it to 76 today. We'll stop at 71 tomorrow. Average is 69, records 89, 14 hours, 32 minutes of daylight. We're almost to 6 a.m. for our sunrises now as we get into the second half of May. All right, tomorrow's going to be a fairly cloudy day. It may look like it kind of wants to rain, but I don't think it's going to do much. With this front off to our south, there's not a whole lot in the way of a trigger for showers. That said, I've got a 30% chance in our forecasts for the midday and afternoon tomorrow. So, no big storms like the last couple of days, but maybe a shower here and there. I think Thursday is probably the nicest day of the week. There may be some high clouds around, filtering out the sun. Sky may look a little milky at times, but I think it'll be a brighter day than tomorrow. And it's going to be a dry day, I suspect, on Thursday, so we're looking pretty good that day. Now, moisture will probably start to increase once again Friday. I don't think it's a washout Friday, but probably an increased chance for a shower and a thunderstorm. Dew point trend over the next 7 days. Now, the end of the week is looking less humid than I thought previously, as dew points may drop down into the lower 50s by Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And overall, until we get to early next week, these dew points are pretty manageable, generally in the kind of muggy category to the pleasant category on the scale here for the next 5 days or so. All right, first half of May has been warmer than average. Second half of May, I suspect, is largely the same. Now, I've been talking about how this is not a pattern that's likely to produce extreme heat or anything. We're not going to see 90s in this kind of pattern, but a sustained period of warmth still seems pretty likely in the 8 to 14 day period, taking us through almost to the end of May. Now, if you're tired of the rain, I think the second half of the month will probably be drier than the first half, but that being said, I still think there is a chance for somewhat wetter than average conditions here in the medium range. It doesn't look to me like a super wet pattern, but not a super dry one either. So if you're longing for a 10-day dry stretch, this probably isn't your pattern. But will we see the frequency of rain that we had during the first half of May? I kind of doubt it. That's it for tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for tuning in and geeking out with me. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening, and I'll have an update on the forecast, everything you need to know tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock.